2018, they lost in penalties in the semifinal to the Campbells. In 2019, they lost in the final here in Buies Creek. But now they're going to try and win it. They have to win tonight at 7, but then if they win, they'll be at home on Saturday night. All we await is the referee's whistle to get us underway. There it is, and semifinal number 1 is rolling here in Buies Creek. Baptiste, we talked about it, mentioning in the lineups, the back 5 for Campbell, they're going to be crucial. We know this team for Upstate likes to attack. What are that Campbell back 5 going to have to do to marshal them?
Well, they're going to be pretty asked to do a strong game tonight. They have to be strong off the ball, especially tracking Paul Monels is going to be a target for the Spartans tonight.
Amal. Here's Gerard Broussard. Trickles just out of play, out for the Virginian last. Broussard making his 3rd appearance for Campbell. Interestingly enough, Campbell are undefeated when Broussard plays. He's gotten into the starting lineup 2 games ago against Gardner-Webb, and then also played about 23 minutes in the last game against Radford.
His game is pretty similar to Alex Egonu. He's strong off the ball. He's able to hold on to the ball.
These two teams met in the regular season. It was a 2-2 draw, but Campbell had to claw their way back. Upstate went up 2-0. Campbell brought it back and then had to go into extra time, or overtime, of course, where it ended in a draw.
Yeah, and this is what Campbell wants to avoid tonight, being down 2-0.
Broussard. Bodico. And here's Braden Teller in an advanced role tonight. Moses Mensah. First chance for the Ghanaian. Lock against Anderson. Last touched off the South Carolina native Hayden Anderson.
And Mensah is so important in the build-up. Always trying to go forward and offer something for the wingers.
Speaking of wingers, here's something you don't see very often. Braden Teller coming from left wing to take a throw in on the right side. Nodded away. Stays in just for a throw.
Yeah, Campbell played that one like a corner almost, and Diego Konix was also in the box. And here they go again.
Spoiler alert, set pieces are going to be big tonight, folks. This one's away only momentarily. Momo. A lovely cutback. Here's Amal. Whipping one in. Konix just over the bar. Konix in his last match here scored off of a corner kick. We told you to watch for set pieces, and they nearly struck from this one.
Well, we told you to watch Amal as well. What a beautiful cross from his right foot. Straight to the head of Konix.
And to be fair to Konix there, the goal that he scored really wasn't much of a header. He really used his back, or maybe just the back of his head, to score that one. He's been phenomenal along that back line. A transfer, that's got to be tough. Of course, you came from France to play in the United States. That's different than playing with one team and then moving to another, but that transition certainly is difficult.
It is difficult. A new environment, new teammates, a new culture. But hats off to Diego Konix this season. He's been awesome so far. He's the rock of this defense.
It's going to be Spartans ball, and you're right, he really has been the rock of Buies Creek. He's got the most minutes of any player on the team, including goalkeepers. A lot of the times you see outfield players having less minutes than the goalkeepers, but Konix has even surpassed that, all the way up at 954 before coming into this one. There is the Dutchman. Monels. The offside flag is up. The players don't know it yet, neither does the referee. The flag came up on this near side. They're going to play on, and we should mention a very historically significant thing that we're going to have on display tonight. For the very first time here in Buies Creek, we're going to have the ability to go to video review. That will be interesting, especially given how controversial it is in the game right now. But should there be any one of 5 events, including times, yellow cards, possible red cards, or goals given one way or another, they can go to video review.
It's a nice tool for the referees, as long as they use it wisely.
We spoke with Campbell head coach Dustin Fonder about the last match, and the thing he said that they really pinpointed was a very slow start they had in that one. That was their first away game of the season. No build-up really because of the COVID truncated season they've had, and so the biggest part was not starting slow in this one.
Yeah, they conceded 2 goals in the first 15 minutes. Luckily for the Camels, they were able to come back from this deficit, but this is something they want to avoid tonight, because a two-goal deficit is something pretty tough to overcome in the playoffs.
Eileen. And now Torres. Pascal Corvino. His touch was just behind Paul Monell's. Our player to watch over on the far side. Campbell were here 2 years ago now. In the 2019 Big South Championships, they hosted the semifinal where they played Presbyterian. They hosted the final as well. And they took on and defeated High Point. That one's out of play by Konix. And that's one of the things that Coach Fonder also mentioned to us, is that, you know, they're missing some players due to injury or COVID or otherwise, but the one thing that they can rely upon is that championship experience, which not a lot of teams have.
Of course, they have the experience about the playoffs, and it's going to be interesting to see if Campbell can set the tone early in the game and show that they have the experience in the postseason. And on the other hand, how is the Upstate going to react, and can they handle the pressure of coming to Buies Creek for the first time in quite a while?
Lovely distribution by Amal. Teller. A narrow angle to skewer that one in on. He's usually a right back for Campbell, but trust me, I know he can score a goal. I played against that guy in high school. Proud record, he never scored against me when I was on the field, but he was one of the best in the state. He had over 150 career goals, was an All-American at News Christian. Monell's. One-on-one against Momo. Great work by the Frenchman. Had to get that challenge just right, because giving a free kick away there would have been a very bad giveaway. Hines. Aline.
Good composure from Upstate right there.
And interesting, you could see that Aline was looking around and went backwards with it, got the applause from Hines. They're looking to hold on to the ball. They're not afraid to go on the road and have possession. Broussard. Young is dispossessed. It'll stay with the Fighting Camels. And you can take us through that dynamic. Typically, home teams are the ones who are the ones attacking, but there's kind of a role reversal here. They're allowing Upstate to have a bit more of the ball. Owen McCoy. Amal playing a bit deeper than where he normally is. Locke fouled by Anderson.
Anderson chasing Locke pretty high on the field. That's the key. Luck is very dangerous when he's facing the goal.
Campbell have taken their time on that set piece. Plenty of players forward. Amal. Met and cleared by Corvino. Mensah. No problem for Anderson. And that's a different style change that Campbell have gone through. Typically in a situation like that, they would have taken that free kick quickly rather than lining it up. They really feel like set pieces could be their determining factor in this one.
Well, they can use set pieces with Broussard. He's quite tall. He's definitely a target. Same thing for McCoy and Konix.
No Humberto Chavez for Campbell, so Amal's having to play a little bit deeper of a role. How do you think that's going to affect his ability to control the game?
Well, that's true. He's gonna be deeper in on the field, but his ability to create passes is awesome. So I'm pretty sure he wants to create chances from the back and then goes up the field to afford a solution for the strikers.
Hines. And the other thing to watch for, you can see it in your shot right now, Young is actually playing as one of the furthest forward players, and Broussard is drifting behind. But it definitely seems like those attackers want to press those center backs. Fernandez. Baeza, another Spaniard in a transfer just like Monell's. Interestingly enough, both of them coming from Barton, but not the same Barton. Monell's coming from Barton College here in North Carolina, and Baeza coming from Barton County Community College out in Kansas. All the hands go up on that one. Last off of Young. Momo. Here he is again. Full speed in the 18-yard box. Momo! Excellent work by Baeza. Wasn't sure whether or not Momo was going to cross or shoot. He decided to take it himself. Baeza has to come up with a big stop.
Yeah, he waited until the last time. And Baeza closing the angle. What a save.
Not so often that you see Momo so selfish. He decides to take that one himself. Here's this one. Back stick. No problem. Along the sidelines, marshaling his side, head coach Scott Halkett. It's his 8th season with the team, his 4th as a head coach, and he gets the honor of Big South Coach of the Year. He really has turned things around. Last season they were 1-7 in conference play. This season just about tied for that second place spot. He really has done a tremendous job. They said that he was his first real season last year with the recruits that were all his. Of course, there's a bit of a lag where you're having to play with players that weren't of your choosing, and so now he got his squad in 2019. 1-7, not really an accurate representation of how they played. They had a lot of 1-0 losses, including when they played here in Bowie's Creek against Campbell. It was a 1-0 loss. In overtime, they lost to High Point 2-3. So there was lots of results like that. That means it could have been very different for them last season. This year, though, they made the teams pay. They've taken their chances and booked their spot in their first playoff appearance since joining the Big South in 2018.
George Belico is so important on these balls. He was able to step up. And then he was quicker than Javier Torres.
Just a little pull on the jersey by Javier Torres. Another Spaniard from the South Coast. He assisted that first goal against Campbell when these two teams met last. Amal chips one in. Conix. McCoy scuffed it, but it doesn't matter. Owen McCoy scores his first collegiate goal in the semifinals. Set pieces, set pieces, set pieces. What did we tell you?
Set piece is so important in playoffs, and I can assure you that was planned. Looking for Conix on the backside. Great header, and then McCoy quite lucky on this one, but it doesn't matter. A goal is a goal. It's in the net.
Well, you wouldn't have called that one. Center back to center back inside the other 18-yard box to get the opening goal. Konix nodding it on to McCoy, and that's a really interesting story, Owen, who came into this side in his freshman year, wasn't sure if he was going to get a lot of time when you're coming in behind guys like Basafi Doti and Diego Konix. He comes in. He's played every minute of the last 4 games. Before that, he'd only played 20 minutes the entire season. He's had to slide in, come up, not just from the high school level to the college level, but to a nationally ranked team, a 2-time defending champion, and then make an impact moment in the playoffs. It really is remarkable.
Well, you only need one opportunity. That's what McCoy did.
Upstate looking to get one back through Anderson. Crucial intervention by Momo to prevent that cross. Paul Monels will take this one. Campbell with the 1-0 lead here in the semis. Paul Monels and the Spartans may have something to say about that. Front stick off by Mensah. He's going to be hard to beat in a foot race. Bit of a jersey tug. Referee says no foul. Corvino. Monels powers one towards Lechuga, and that's going to be a difficult angle to beat one of the best goalkeepers in the region, Sam Lechuga, but Paul Monels deciding to have that one himself. There is Owen McCoy, Georgia native, coming into this side, playing full-time in the last 4 and getting rewarded for that hard work with a goal here in the semifinals.
Once again, Upstate trying to play from the back. And lucky on that pass from Anderson, but great composure from the goalkeeper, Baiza.
We talked about the slow start that Campbell had in that last one, how they didn't want to start off that way this time. Upstate has had some of the ball, but really Campbell has looked comfortable, and they've taken the opportunity on a set piece, which is what they were wanting to do. So far you could say mission accomplished. Corvino. Shoulder-to-shoulder challenge there on the edge of the 18. Referee not giving that one. The difference here with VAR, we'll get back to that in a second. Badico. Braden Teller. A nice cross to switch the field of play. A little overcooked. Locke. End line. Deflected corner kick. Sammy Sharafamol to take, and sliding in there at the back stick, you can see number 2 and number 20. Those are the danger men inside the 18. Front stick. Amal leaves it. He might have been offside. And a throw in for Teller. Had to play some minutes when Momo was out with injury out at right back. Playing at left wing today. Young. Offside flag up. We talked about Coach Halkett on the other side of things in the other dugouts. Dustin Fonder, 6th season with Campbell. Spent a previous 8 seasons at High Point. He's been in these situations before. We talked about experience. He's led his team to 2 consecutive Big South championships in as many years. He knew that this home field advantage was important. It came down to those last couple of games, getting results on the road. He said that having to go on the road for those 2 games, one midweek game as Hines nods it back to Baeza. The midweek game against Gardner-Webb, 4-hour drive, and then against Radford, another 4-hour drive. You're saying 8 hours round trip, having to do that so close together and then do it again just a few days later down to upstate. If they would have had to been on the road, that would have made their lives very, very difficult. So getting to be at home, not have to travel, surely from your time as a player, that's got to mean so much.
Well, it's important for the recuperation, the recovery, because the games are coming quickly. You basically play, travel, rest, play again.
Campbell already had been on an extended away trip. They had played 3 of their last 4 on the road. The game at home was against Elon. So having to play another one, 3rd in the space of a week on the road, would have certainly been difficult. Spartans finished their regular season a little bit earlier. So they had a bit of a break. Halfway point of the first half. Campbell lead by a goal from Owen McCoy. McHugh. He scored that second goal in the 2-2 draw during the regular season. And that's the sort of experience we talk about right there. Konix could have very easily decided to bring that down himself or try and play it, but instead he does the smart thing and leaves it for Lechuga. Experience is always good, but it seems to be more of a valuable asset when it comes to defenders because, of course, attackers, there's a lot less pressure on them when they're going forward. If you don't score, it's okay. But for defenders, that experience has got to be huge.
It is huge. It is huge. And if you see the back line of Campbell, there is Frank Momo, huge experience playing overseas in France. Konix, who is already a leader. And Mensa, who is the last freshman of the year before Amal. He played a huge role last season.
Lovely switch out to Momo if he can get there. Referee says nope. It trailed out at the last second. Glad you mentioned that. Campbell handed off the Freshman of the Year award. Moses giving it off to Sammy Sharaf-Amal. Very impressive performance in his first season here. Broussard inside the 18. Off for Young. Teed it up. Too much under it though. First time we've seen that combination play from Broussard. He's going to come off now, but that's likely what they're going to want to see from him inside the 18.
Absolutely. The pass was a little too bouncy, and Young was not able to keep it on the floor with his first touch. Quite a difficult shot.
Damian Rogers has come in to replace Broussard. Another player who's getting some minutes they might not have expected as the toll of this season is taken on all rosters across the country. Mensah. We had mentioned it earlier about VAR. The big difference that you should know is that in the pros, there is an actual person sitting in a booth talking to the head referee on the field, telling them when to or when not to look at something. It'll be different here. There's nobody in the booth looking at the replays and saying you should take a look at it. There was a chance at the edge of the 18-yard box for the Spartans that went missing. Corvino, first team All Big South selection. Releasing over here on this near side. Arocha. Torres. Lechuga with a monumental stop. The Mexican coming up big with a one-handed save.
What a save. Lechuga always has at least 2 saves or 3 to make during the game, and he always answers. He's always there to support his back line. That was such a huge save for Campbell.
The very difficult part about playing against Campbell. So we'll get back to that with Badico. Looked for a pass inside that's cleared away. But if you can get past the midfield pairing of Badico and Amal, you have to face that formidable back four. And then if you can get past those players, as they were able to through Torres, you've got to get past Sam Lechuga. Goes all the way through for a goal kick, and it's because of people like Sam Lechuga that Campbell have one of the best goal differentials in the country. They have plus 21 to their name, which is an outstanding record. It puts them at third in the nation, actually second in the conference. High Point do have a better goal differential at 24, but still, you'll certainly take third out of over 150 plus teams. Momo darting inside. Out for a corner. Last off McHugh. We've got Braden Teller, typically a defender, playing an attacker's role, while Momo tried to flip the switch there as well and darted inside.
Well, in today's game, the impact of fullbacks is so important. They are like wingers.
Amal. Teller. No problem for Baeza. A quick release. Mensah. A difficult one. There's a bit of a push. He completed the play either way. The whistle bailing him out. It was Mario Orocha into the back of Mensah.
Awesome awareness from Baeza, trying to see the 2v1 in the middle of the field, switching the pressure from his defense to their defense.
And that's been an interesting look at the beginning of this game. The Spartans tried to play the ball backwards, hold on to it, build possession, but at that opportunity they tried to go quickly. Rogers inside the 18, can't hold on to it. That'll be a goal kick.
Good coverage from McHugh.
Damian Rogers, the freshman out of Orange Park, Florida. Campbell, of course, started off this season with a dynamite attack. It's been whittled down. They lost Thibaut Jaquel to the draft, the nation's returning leading scorer. We knew the COVID season was going to throw us some curveballs, but we didn't realize how big of a spin it was going to put on this season. Monell's. McCoy. Here is Sammy Sharafa-Mall, who was named the Freshman of the Year. Of course, when the playoffs start, that means we get the yearly awards. He's joined by his fellow player Frank Momo as the Defensive Player of the Year. Campbell holding on to that award as well. It was given to Gideon Betts back in 2019. Paul Monell's one of multiple Spartan players who made that list alongside Corvino in the first team. Also had players in academic roles, as well as second team, like Arocha. Young. Good defending by Hines. Diagonal ball. Mensah. Excellent left-footed ball is straight at Baeza. Quick distribution out to the Italian Corvino. Spartans once again building things from the back. Is there anything you've seen from their play early on that you would change?
No, I will keep going that way. Of course, the more they are on the ball, the better it is for them. Because Campbell is such a great team with the ball. I really like the bond from the back line and the midfield.
Corvino. Backwards into Anderson. Across the end. Koenig straight up. Away by Teller. It was a collision in there between Koenig and Mensah. Campbell conceding just a throw-in. So a triple substitution for the Spartans. Cincini comes on alongside Bobai, as well as Jeremy Montero. So Anderson actually comes over to the right-hand side. You can see him running into your shot there to take this throw in. Anderson's been the rock defensively for the Spartans. Full time in each of his last 7 matches. Totaling up to 914 minutes for the South Carolinian. McCoy. Monell's. Momo forced to get it a touch on it. Clearing it down line. It seems like little stuff, those moments like that, but they're huge towards keeping a clean sheet.
Again, we go back to the experience of Frank Momo.
Corvino. McCoy. Excellent to find Rogers. Campbell deciding to hold on to it rather than break quickly. They've got that 1-goal lead. And you'd think that would probably fit their preferred pace of play rather than trying to stretch things out to hold on to it and slow things down.
Absolutely, it's very important to hold on to the ball.
Lewis. One of the most remarkable parts about watching Sami Sharafa ball is just his head movement. When he's on the ball, I swear he's never looking at it. He's always going left to right, surveying the field.
Always checking his shoulders to have the time when the ball actually comes to him.
Final 10 minutes of the first half. Campbell lead from a set-piece goal by none other than Owen McCoy. It was sent in by Amal and then nodded on by Konix. McCoy, one of a few players in the lineup that are playing more than they originally thought they would have to. Coach Fonder said that they had to rebuild this team during the season due to one reason or another, and they didn't know how it was going to turn out, but they've realized not only can they play with this rebuilt team, but they can win with this rebuilt team, which is what they're doing at the moment.
And that shows the depth of the bench of Campbell.
Monell's getting a talking to from the head referee today, Brandon Marion, also getting a talking to from the crowd over on the far side, giving Monell's an earful. Turner. Amal, a left-footed stinger, goes just over. Normally you wouldn't expect much to come of those, but we have seen Amal put a few in from that distance.
Left foot rocket from Amal.
Amal has been on fire this season. He has 11 points in his last 5 games. That's why they call him Mr. Fahrenheit. That ball goes out of play. Eight minutes remain. The referee's going to stop the clock, so Mensah can take all the time he needs to get that shoe tied. Surely not any time wasting antics this early. Monell's great ball out wide for Cincini. McCoy standing on his head again. Rogers. Young. Badico. The hand of Young. The referee nodded against it. Went back by Hines. Turned over. Corvino. Cincini over the far side. 2 Italians in there. Corvino from Salcedo. Cincini from Genova. And dynamics always nice to have a fellow speaker on the team. one of the things I've noticed is a lot of the attacking play for Upstate, as Rogers heads it on to Young, has gone on the side of McCoy. It definitely seems like they're targeting him. Surely, as they were looking at film, they said if we're going to try and send the ball somewhere along the back four, we want to send it near McCoy. It hasn't worked thus far, but that's probably still their best bet.
Yeah, the scouting report, all the work that the coaching staff puts into before the game.
That's what makes it even harder for a player like McCoy. Not only do you have to get up to speed so quickly, but you also know that every single team has your name written on the whiteboard, encircled, and said, go after him.
Well, he can take that as a motivation.
He certainly seems to have. He's got a goal today, the lone goal that separates these two sides in the semifinal. The referee is going to give out a yellow to Monels. The crowd appreciates that on the far side. And did he also give one to Momo? We'll take a look at it here.
Yeah, I think it's the accumulation of fouls. Not only this one, because this one wasn't that bad.
You could see the head referee, Brandon Marion, just pointing multiple times, saying it's 1, 2, 3. Here's your card. Rogers harrying McHugh. Amal put a shoulder into Corvino. Advantage played. Lechuga there first. A smart advantage played, and also a good idea to put it through the back line, but just a little too heavy.
Yeah, it was a good chance for USC Upstate. It was a 4v5. Lucky for them, the pass was too strong, and great awareness by Lechuga as well, coming off the line.
That's how quickly this game can be turned on its head with just a 1-goal lead. Fouled by Mensah. Brought down Mario Orochia out of Madrid. You can tell in these last couple of minutes, the Spartans have started to turn up the dial, moving the ball a little bit quicker, a bit more urgency as we close out this first half. How big would a goal here going into the break be?
It would be pretty big. A goal before halftime is always tough to take in, because you keep thinking about it while you're in the locker room.
It's exactly what happened in the game 2 years ago that Campbell had against Upstate. They went 1 down on the road, scored 2 right before the break, and then eventually went on to win that game 7-1 down in Spartanburg. So that shows you just how big of an impact some goals before halftime can be. You might be able to hear the chatter over your speakers. We talk about how many Spaniards there are, and I'd say the primary language out in the pitch tonight is Spanish. You'll also hear chatter here on the headset because, of course, second half we're going to be switching our language as well to French only for the broadcast. Isn't that right, Baptiste?
It's right, yeah.
McCoy using all 6'5" to get above his attacker. Young. Coach Fonner described him as a spark for his team this season. Teller fires it himself, skews it wide. Coach Fonner telling him, keep trying. Braden Teller out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. Played the full 90 in the last 2 games out at winger. NCSAA All-American. Player that Coach Fonner said they knew would be involved later in his career, but he's impressed. He's making an impact now. Last 2 minutes of the first half. Monels. Bobai. A difficult one to get much on given the height, but a solid opportunity for the Spartans.
But it was a great movement by Despertans and Monels. First touch, one time, into the run of Bobai. A bit too high for him.
Monels has been a little bit quiet in this game, but that shows you how quickly he can turn things on. It's very similar to what Matt Locke is doing. Both of them have been a little dormant in this match, but either of them can be difference makers in their time. Momo, maybe to get one last goal here before the break. No way around Cincini. We approach the final 60. They're going to leave it here for Teller. Konix has gone up. This one's going to be going long and into the box. Taking every second off the clock that they can get. Great throw by Teller, goes out of bounds, but the distance on that one is exactly what you want to see.
It's a corner, basically.
No time to waste here for the Spartans. They're a goal down in the semifinals with seconds to go in the first half. Corvino.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And there's the first 45 minutes in the books. Campbell lead through a goal from Owen McCoy off of a set piece being fed in by Konix. It was an encapsulating first half that we're going to break down for you at the halftime break. Stick with us here on ESPN Finals with 45 minutes to keep their season alive. They have been phenomenal this year. They really turned things around from last year. We talked to Coach Halkett, who said that there was a moment somewhere midway in that 2019 season where things just clicked. He had a very young team then, as we're going to have an early opportunity for Orocha. Orocha, he's tied it up here, only seconds in. Talk about an impact moment to tie things with 11 seconds gone in the second half.
Campbell probably still in the locker room right now. Not focused enough. McCoy, who leaves too much space for this shot. A great finish. And this is how you want the first time to start with for USC Upstate. On the opposite, this is not the best start for Campbell.
Remember, folks, Campbell started off with the kickoff. They lost it to Orocha, who got in and puts it side netting. Nothing that Lechuga can do about that one. We were just talking about Coach Halkett and that halfway point. Well, they've reached the halfway point here, and who knows what he said at the halftime break. But whatever it was, it got his players fired up. They've tied things here. 11 seconds is all it took. Like you said, they were still in the locker room as Baez asked to put this one in. It was almost like everyone, including us, were watching from the edge of our seats. It boded well for Campbell coming into this one. They're 7-0 when scoring first this season, 5-0 when leading at halftime. I told you it can just take a moment to flip the narrative in these games, and I think that qualifies as less than a moment. That was Orocha's third goal, his 9th point. Here he is again. He's feeling himself, and he puts it just over. It takes a deflection on the way through off the gloves of Lechuga, and it's Mario Orocha who has put this game alight.
And this was a great movement by UC Upstate with Monel, and a great shot from Rocha.
Lechuga putting the glove to it, might not have had to, but if that would have went off the bar, you never know where it might have ended up. The Spartans are on a roll here. Here it comes in. Out of play, goal kick.
Well, and everything that Thunder must have said in the locker room has become pointless now, because nobody was expecting this early goal in the second half.
It really is 15 minutes wasted. Of course, you're telling them, just lock in, stay strong defensively. Now they got to go out and get a goal. Try and keep you up to date with the action that's going on in the other semifinal as High Point takes on Asheville, but all eyes are on this one. Broussard goes down. Corvino. It also goes a long way because as Bobai runs in, Campbell have a nice little crowd here today. They were rowdy in the first half. They've been silenced here. Great work by Monels, who goes down.
We can notice that Monels has switched to the right side now, going at Moses Mensah instead of Frank Momo.
Paul Monels with the armband. Transfer out of Barton College. Standing over this one. A 5-man wall for Campbell, an opportunity. Just minutes into this second half to go from a goal down to 2 up. Monels and Cincini. Who will it be? Monels, an excellent stop by Lechuga. Everything was right about that one from Monels. Maybe not quite enough power, but nearly perfect.
Yeah, Lechuga was on it though. Saves with 2 times.
In that first half, Campbell looked comfortable as they went into the break, and now you didn't see any nerves from that back line, but anytime the ball's in front of them, you can almost feel the nervousness. Monels. Montero. Can't keep it in play. Goal kick. The wind has also started to pick up. The clouds have covered the skies here, adding a even more dramatic undertone to the affair we have in front of us. Lechuga, one of the captains for Campbell, alongside Frank Momo. In his final season, that 22nd clean sheet is now officially over. He sits tied second for most shutouts in Campbell history. Could have moved into that position outright. Campbell don't turn things around here and get a win. He won't have an opportunity to break that tie. Biggest thing I've noticed here is since that goal, which is basically the beginning of the second half, Spartans have not let go of the ball.
Yeah, they're keeping the ball. Great composure from the back line once again. It's pretty interesting because Campbell has not faced this type of opponent at home this season.
Yeah, they played Presbyterian, who are a scrappy team that don't like as much possession. They played a team like High Point that likes a lot of possession. Well, this team seems to be a combination of both of those teams. Scrappy, a lot of passion, combined with that ability to hold on to the ball. He didn't get to finish it up because of how quickly that goal was scored, but Coach Halkett was saying there was a midway point in that 2019 season when things clicked, and they carried it on over into this season, finishing third. Bobai away by Konix. took overtime to separate these two teams back in 2019 when they played here in Buies Creek. Coach Halkett said that that was a good game for experience. It made his team very mature. A young starting 11 that he has here at the Spartanburg School. Arocha. Just a missed touch by Bobai. Momo. Just past Locke. Bobai. Corvino. Player that his head coach described as having Italian passion. He and his team are showing it now. Anderson. An inline cross just over Arocha. Referee blows whistle against Arocha. There was some good sportsmanship there, a pat on the back between those two internationals. You take a look here at this cross in the box.
Good cross from Anderson, very powerful. Unfortunately, Arocha is not the biggest guy in the box.
Corvino. Away by Konix. Monell's first to it. Around Mensah. Flicked on off the post. Campbell holding on by the skin of their teeth here. Another opportunity to get the ball in the box. Monell's. The layoff. A late boot left in on Badico. And he has to be careful there, Monell's, because he's already on a yellow card.
Absolutely, but this goal really flipped things around for USC Upstate. It's been all Upstate for now, for the past 10 minutes. And Arocha is getting his touch in the game. He's feeling himself right now.
You could almost say that first half was comfortable after the Campbell goal. There were still moments for the Spartans, but nothing like what we've seen here in the second half. They dialed it up. They were dynamite in that first 15 minutes against Campbell. Fighting Campbells were able to come back in that one. But when this Spartans team gets going, they are very hard to stop.
Coaching staff of Campbell trying to wake his team up.
And that's the hard part, of course. There's no timeouts, no breaks, no time for your players to get a word in along the bench. You get the one break at halftime, and then when you give up a goal 10 seconds in, it makes it moot. Here's Broussard, just in front of Locke's block there, crucially, by Cincini. The Italian making a crucial play. And now a set-piece opportunity. Campbell scored off one in the first half. They could really use a goal from one here. Amal. Back stick. McCoy again. Baeza did not keep it in play, so we'll do it again from the other side. Locke the Englishman assisted Konix from this exact same corner in the game versus Elon. Here it comes in. Up goes Konix. Straight up in the air by Hines. Campbell keeping players up for this one. Locke, perhaps it's his moment to come alive. Mensah. Not enough behind that one, Lewis. Campbell's turn to pin the Spartans back. Locke cuts it inside. Young. Momo. End line. Cincini. Corner kick.
Campbell getting back on the ball. That's what they need.
Frank Momo assisted the opening goal in the Big South final on this field 2 years ago. Could he be a difference maker? Here's the Big South Freshman of the Year, Sammy Sharaf Amal. Up goes McCoy. Who did that touch off last? Referee says goal kick. It was Broussard and Konix in there. That's the one thing you can give credit to Campbell for. We knew they've been working on set pieces. Coach Fonder told us that. They've been dangerous from every one.
Well, that's how they scored. It was planned. They knew it before the free kick went off. I'm all playing as a 10 right now. Maybe Coach Fonder wants to have the ball more on the final third rather than his own half.
Young now playing a further back role alongside George Badico. Of course, a big miss for Campbell as Humberto Chavez. He's the heartbeat of his team, really. Amal.
Great ball.
One for Teller to chase. Braden Teller. He got it stuck under his legs there. Interesting, the referee hasn't stopped the clock for this one. We'll take a look at it.
And his touch a little bit too strong, and then he tripped. Hopefully he's good now.
Good to see he got it tangled up under his feet, and then the touch. Not much in that one as far as a penalty claim goes. The referee could have looked at it. The fact that he walked all the way over there, thought he might. Bobai. Pace of play slowed down a little bit. I think when Campbell came back there, the Spartans said, let's try and get onto this one and not let it get away from us. Cincini. Corvino. Back to Cincini, too long. Cincini and is conferring there, exchanging a few words. Mountain Dew is charged for anything that may happen on game day, so grab yourself an ice-cold Mountain Dew, cheer on your team, and enjoy the game. We know our fans are the best fans. Do the Dew. We thank you for tuning in to this one. For those of you who could not be here, we're glad we can get you this coverage. Zach Burley and Baptiste Tejan here, coming to you live from the city by the creek, the city that never sleeps, Bowie's Creek, North Carolina. Here's another one of those long throws. Just as I say that, Teller. Momo. A left-footed ball is away by Hines. An opportunity maybe to break for Monels. A lovely switch of play. Montero. Orocha. A left footer just wide. Another one of those opportunities that have been so deadly for the Spartans here in this second half, coming once again from the feet of Orocha.
Yeah, but before that, it was a long ball from Anderson, finding the weak side because Momo was up on the field. And then Orocha is so dangerous right now.
That's one of the things that Coach Halkett said he was very impressed with this season was the quality of football that they've been playing. Such an intelligent pass by Anderson, not just to get the ball forward, but to spot the weak side, as you know. Normally, if Campbell were leading right now, these wingbacks could be more back, pinned back and defending. Because they're tied up, they've got to be forward to contribute to the attacking play. Here's a ball. Rogers making the run. Back to Baeza. He couldn't pick it up because it was a back pass. Lewis. Monels. Corvino. Here's another switch for Anderson, is kept in play wonderfully. 3 against 3 here. Mensa cleverly drawing the foul. Moses Mensa, the 2019 Big South Freshman of the Year. One of the better left backs you're going to find in the region. Ranked 8th among freshmen by Top Drawer Soccer. He's continued his form in the 2020-2021 season. Amal. Badico. Teller. Lock. Cincini clears. Away. Here's Momo. Lock. Excellent ball into Rogers. Off for Amal. Not in the long by Lewis. Campbell getting into their rhythm now. Teller. Against Anderson. The referee having to dodge out of the way. Momo curling one in just over Rogers. Offside flag is up. Frank Momo, that's one of the things that I think that the Spartan defense has done spectacularly, is closing him down and preventing him from getting balls in like this.
Of course, and he showed before in the season that he was able to cross the ball absolutely well. Always dangerous when he's in the final third.
3 assists this season. He had 6 back in 2019. Here's Mensa on the other side. Up by McCoy. Badico brought down. Referee says no foul.
Orocha not giving up on the play.
So it's Teller off for Manny Prieto. Another one of those surprises in this Campbell lineup. He had to come in and play some minutes in that game against Gardner-Webb. He scored the game winner in his first collegiate appearance. Can he recreate that magic here? Speaking of magic, it's twinkle toes from Matt Locke. Momo. Rogers in space as we approach the halfway point of the second half. We are knotted at one, a goal on either side of the break. Mario Orocha, 11 seconds into the second half. Momo. Great ball to release Orocha. In for Bobai. McCoy locks Shirley offside. There goes the flag. We talked about how they've closed down Momo. I think Locke has been one of the other factors. He hasn't been quite as active as I'm sure Campbell will have wanted him to be. There's been periods of this game where he's really been quiet.
But he only needs one chance to score or deliver.
He's the leading returning scorer for Campbell. Anderson. The Spartans have smelled blood in the water in this second half. Rogers. Campbell missing the likes of a player like Jaquel or Iganu, those hold-up central strikers that they just don't have right now. Which means that those long balls like that often give away possession.
Yes, because the team cannot step up and put the opponent under pressure. But we're seeing more and more spaces in the midfield right now. The game is opening up because both teams want to win.
See whether a yellow card is issued here. There will be one. It's going to be against Moses Mensah. Monell's went down.
Yellow card is like Campbell's number 2, Diego
Konix, excuse me, given the yellow card. That makes his life a lot more interesting back there. Has to be even more careful. Here comes from Orocha. Lechuga, finger-tipped away for a corner kick. Torres comes back in. Lechuga getting some fingertips to that one. We're now into the final 20 minutes here in Bowie's Creek. Paul Monells. Another set-piece opportunity for the Spartans. Lots under this one. Away by Konix. Campbell still unable to get out. Anderson with his throw. Lewis. Young clears. Still scoreless in the other semifinal. As High Point take on Asheville, 1-1 here. Bobai. Campbell just can't clear their lines. Mensah. Prieto ahead of Mensah. There's a lot of recycling going on here. Campbell get the ball, immediately give it away. It's feeding right into the hands of the Spartans.
Yeah, it's been back-to-back goals that Campbell was not able to control and to give themselves a breathe.
Anderson can't corral that one. USC Upstate coming into the Big South out of the A-Sun. They really found their footing here in their third season. 7-1 back in 2019. Anderson, a fired-in cross, goes just over the bar. He's down on the ground holding his head. That was a solid opportunity there. As Corvino comes on for Montero.
I think he tried to cross it, but the ball was a little bit too far from his feet. But at the beginning of the chance, it was a ball lost by Rogers, and this is the kind of balls that he needs to hold on to.
Campbell taking their time on this goal kick. Trying to slow things down, get a breather, find their footing here. Two-time defending champions on the ropes here at home against the challengers, the Upstate Spartans. Prieto. Here he is again. Excellent ball into a maul. Locke supported by Momo. Campbell getting the juices flowing here. Prieto inside, away by Hines. Momo in front of his own bench, and here's a look again at what's at stake. High Point Asheville going on right now. The winner of this game advances to play the winner of that game on Saturday, the 17th, for a spot in the NCAA tournament. No one's going through in this one yet. Knotted at one. Locke. Cincini. Well done to win that goal kick. Talked about earlier that it coming out of the A-Sun, USC, finding their footing here in their third season in the Big South, trying to return to the glory they had back in the 90s when they were D2 level. Coach Halkett can tell you a lot about that. He played for the Spartans 92 to 95. Played in the national championship twice, won their conference championship 4 times. Cincini, Bobai, away by McCoy. And now a maul. What can he pull from here? Prieto ahead of him. Inside that 18-yard box, asking for a foul. It's not given. Not a whole lot in that one, but there doesn't need to be necessarily, as Broussard goes down inside the 18.
I think it was a good defensive move. Nothing to be checked there by the ref.
I think it's got to be pretty egregious for the referees to stop the play, go into the room to check the monitor. They're not going to just lightly go and look at the review, especially since no one else is in there watching it as we are going on right now.
And especially since this is the first time that we are having VAR.
Excellent ball from Monels, An even better first touch. The Spaniard straight at Lechuga. Lechuga marshalling that one from Monels, who's also been a little bit quiet in this one. He transferred in from Barton, a player that you actually know, Baptiste. You played against him during your time at Mount Olive.
Yes, and I actually never lost against him. He stayed quiet as well.
It's all about those bragging rights. Of course, you were one of the players who had to watch him. Here's Bobai. Away by Konix. And now Badico. Great defensive work from Cincini. Badico, not a lot in it, but enough for a foul. Eileen there going down, the Swede. Played the opening few minutes, came off. It's back on now in midfield.
He's pretty interesting in the midfield.
Monels, excellent cross, is nodded away by McCoy. Lewis back into the mixer. Bobai is offside.
Elaine is making the bond between the back line and the offensive line. He sometimes pops up into the back line, making the two center back stretching out. And they go from 4 defender to 5 or 3.
Elaine. Monels goes down the touch from Young. Monell's a player that Coach Halkett said that they knew had a lot of talent. They weren't sure if he was going to be able to make the step up because, of course, there is a difference between the D2 level and the D1 level, whether he was going to be able to be strong enough on the ball, hold off players. They said he's returned the faith that they put in him. A quick taken free kick. Cincini, back stick. Bobai! You're not going to get any easier than that. Was that the moment to win the game for Upstate?
It certainly was.
Cincini to Torres, excellent work there. Perfectly executed, just not to finish.
Yeah, the ball was a little bit too high. He couldn't put a header in, and it was too high for his foot, so he had to put the knee.
That really would have been a capper on this second half for Upstate. The question is, will they live to regret not finishing that one? Referee's going to have a word with Lechuga. He has taken his time on these, both in the first and second half. Head referee Brandon Marion not going to issue a yellow card at this time, but likely the last warning. I've been impressed with his performance, the head referee today. Marshaled this game very well, I think. Torres, players streaming forward in green. Against Mensa. Last off of Torres, Campbell throw. 10 minutes remain in regulation. Still, we have no winner in this one. Will it require extra time here in Buies Creek? Prieto. Amal. And the question, and I hate to ask this question, but the question is now, if you're Campbell, you have one eye on penalty kicks.
I'm not sure, because as the hosting team, you want to perform in front of your fan, and I think they feel like they can break it through and put this goal.
They've had a hard time. I'll make my case here. They've had a hard time going forward. Haven't had the chances they want as Corvino gets down inside the box. The referee waves away, calls for handball. They've got one of the best goalkeepers in the conference as far as penalty saving goes. Certainly still plenty of time left to play to win this one without requiring penalty kicks.
You never know with the penalty kicks because it's all about mental aspect, and it's 50-50 to be honest.
Elias Aline has to come off. The referee stopped the clock for a head injury. If the clock stops, you have to come off. Spartans are getting ready to make some substitutions here. They're going to have to wait. You can't replace the player when he comes off. Jimmy James comes on. You couldn't see it because he was down right here in front of the bench, but Amal got a nice little snack. Banana. Eight and a half to go. Hines. McHugh. Heavy touch by McCoy, allows in Corvino. Deep cross. Up by Mensah. Teller shoulder to shoulder there with Corvino.
This is the Italian experience.
Corvino showing off that Italian passion that Coach Halkett told us about.
Yes, it was a foul. Corvino quicker on the ball.
Another opportunity from a set piece for Monels. We've seen some excellent services from the Spaniard. The last one he took on this near side, he'll do it again. Cincini. Broussard brought in to do the work on the other end of the field, making a crucial sliding challenge there.
Well, that was a nice tackle. Something that we didn't know he could do.
So it's Elias Aline back on alongside Orocha, the goal scorer for the Spartans. Corner kick here for the men in black and green.
And they were trying to make something up.
And that's got to be frustrating as well when the referee blows those away, because now Campbell knows what you were trying to do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You don't get many opportunities to try those training ground set pieces. Away by Konix. Prieto clears. Corvino. Away by Konix. Excellent first touch by Prieto. The one difficult part about being tied in this match is it's meant that there's less freedom for players like Momo and Mensah, who arguably are the best ones on the field for Campbell. They've been pinned back defending. Teller. Up by Broussard. Spinning in there. Last touched off of McHugh. Campbell corner kick.
Broussard so strong, making his presence feel in the box.
Prieto's off. Block is on. James on for the Spartans. The Campbell fans in full voice now as we approach the final 5 minutes. 1-1 we stand. A corner kick for Sammy Sharafamal. Punched away by Baeza. Young losing out to. Over on the far side, Torres. Young staying down after that one. He was trying just to watch it out. He's remaining down after this one. We'll see if he can carry on that right leg. Getting a stretch out from a USC Upstate player. You have to give them credit as well. They've been nothing but a class act since being here. There's been multiple occasions where they've gone to ground to help somebody up and that sort of thing. So definitely no animosity between these two teams. Which is always nice when you let the game speak for itself rather than the rivalry sometimes. Or the anger that two teams might have for one another. Young cannot continue. Holding that left hamstring. He's going to be replaced by Damian Rogers.
And that is a bad loss for Campbell. 4 minutes before the end of the game. Young in his breakout season. Such an impactful player.
He's having trouble even making it to the sidelines. He's laid down over there, way by McCoy. Momo. Bajiko. And now Mensah. Final four. Young still on the ground over there. Braden Teller just ahead of Rogers. Aline can bring it away. McCoy. Momo riding the challenge from Monels. Great defensive work.
Hey, when you get the ball, let's keep it going.
Teller for the long throw, assuming I haven't just cursed it.
Konix going in the box.
Mario, behind you, Mario.
Momo now. Whips it in. Konix was there, but it's cleared. Counter attack now. Corvino, supported by Orocha. Locke thought he had done just enough.
Well, let me tell you, that was a small foul, because it was going to be a 2v2.
Torres. McCoy does just enough. The ball so calm under pressure. Aline not happy with that one. We talked about experience. These are the sort of moments that you really can't prepare players for. Coach Halkett said it's new territory. They have to treat it like it's just a regular game. Don't think about what's on the line. We'll tell you there's a spot in the final on the line for whoever gets the next goal. Amal. Baeza, gotta be careful. Remember, it's not about where the goalkeeper is, it's where the ball is. As long as some of it is across that line, it's fair play.
Well read by Baeza. His defense was caught sleeping on that one, letting a maul through and in behind.
Rogers playing in the heart of midfield now. Young is still making his way to the sidelines, by the way, helped off by the athletic trainer.
1 minute remaining in the second.
A boot by Baeza. Less than 60 seconds remain here. Cincini picks his head up. Torres, the flick on for Paul Monels. In the 18, lock there. Did he keep it in play? No. Corner kick. Might this be the last kick of regulation? A set piece perhaps to keep this one from going to overtime. Just about everyone up for the Spartans. Backstick, McCoy, Torres off the line.
Saved by Taylor.
Of the half-field line. Not just the last moment you could be playing for this season, but the last of your career. Lechuga, whatever happens tonight, has had a phenomenal one, as can be said for all of the seniors across both sides. Whoever loses here is going to be heartbroken for sure, but we must find a winner. No draws tonight, folks. Here we go. Orocha, Monels, McCoy stopping another quick one. Aline. Long ball for Orocha. He's been a firecracker for the Spartans, especially in that second half. And that team talk there in between regulation and this overtime period surely was different than the one they were giving at halftime for both of those coaches. How do you prepare a team for this? Do you go out with a game plan? Do you tell them anything, or is it all about motivation?
It's mostly about motivation, but it's also about taking care of the ball in your half and just giving it all. That's it. Mental aspect.
Orocha. Aline. Spartans with the better of the possession here in overtime. Lofted up by McHugh. Rogers. Momo. Rogers not messing around with that clearance.
And we can see Campbell is tired. They are not stepping up as quickly as they were in the first half.
McHugh. Momo away from Monels. Excellent challenge. Orocha. Just past Monels. Campbell electing to hold on to it rather than clear it. There goes McCoy, though. Hines. Monels. Lock now. Down line for Broussard. Konix. In for Teller. Torres. Under pressure down by the corner flag. Kept in play by Mensah. Holding off challenges left and right. Teller onside. Amal. Cleared long by Anderson. Still alive for Orocha. McCoy, Campbell with an opportunity on the ball now. Broussard. Offside flag stays down. It's out of play by McHugh. Campbell with a set piece. They're sending the big guns forward. McCoy and Konix. Tyler Young comes back on. The referee will blow the game to a halt so McCoy can come back in, and that's really good to see. We were worried when he came off. It appears to just have been a cramp, and that's a great sight there.
Absolutely. Tyler Young is really important in the build-up, and he can finish as well, and that's what they need right now.
Amal with the game at his boot. Away by Baeza. Rogers. Momo. And now a counterattack for Monels. Down by Badico. Aline. Monels is onside. On his right boot. Just over the head of Orocha. Torres. A crucial clearance there by Moses Mensah. Cheered on by the Campbell fans. It's 5-on-3. The numbers aren't with him. Just doesn't have the support. The Campbell players are behind him. An excellent stand by Mensah. Teller, a pull back there. There just wasn't any support over there on that far side.
Yeah, wasn't enough movement around those two, which is understandable because we're playing overtime. But you need to head them.
Both teams seem to be wary to tip their hands in this one, but Campbell more so than Upstate. They had 3 players forward. Everybody else was back, and you can see very clearly, at least from our angle, that it's a bank of 4 and 2 banks of 3 for Campbell. Very compact, very organized. Young. Handball on Corvino. The last 3 times, including this one, that these teams have met, the game has gone to overtime. Lechuga, no problem. This game, of course, in overtime. The game in the regular season, 2-2 in overtime. And it took Campbell to OT to beat the Spartans in 2019, 1-0.
That shows the improvement over the years of the Spartans. And a great job by their coaching staff.
It is a great job by Coach Halkett. As we mentioned, played for Upstate. He said it was a very proud moment to get to play in this game, not just for him as a coach and as a player, but also for the alumni who are, telling him how proud they are and to be able to give back to them who have given so much to the program. If they can get a win here, it would certainly go from pride to elation for Coach Scott Halkett's side as they look to complete the scalp over the 2-time Big South defending champions. Great flick on by Young. It's just slightly out of play. Campbell are not happy about that one.
Yeah, it was touched by USF State. Unfortunately, the referee didn't see it.
Not going to be VARing that one. James. 2.5 to play in the first 10 minutes of overtime, perhaps. And Lean. And of course, the Spartans not too rushed. They know that if they cannot score in this period, there is the opportunity for another 10. Monels, Corvino. No penalty, says the referee. Young, furthest man forward for Campbell. Momo. Switching it for Teller. Anderson. Forced into a clearance. Good transition there for Campbell. Teller in no rush to get this ball back in play. 90 seconds now in the first of a possible 2 10-minute overtime periods. Thrown in short for Mensah. End line cross and away by Hines. Free kick. Orocha not happy with that one. Just might have clipped Mensah. And a big moment here because rather than being a throw-in, Campbell with seconds left have a set piece now.
This is dangerous. Even more so in overtime.
The artillery is forward for Campbell. Matlock, front stick, Connick's into the roof of the net. The Campbell bench were on their feet and on the edge of the field. Diego Connick's nearly depositing on a Matlock feed.
We've seen that before. Fortunately, Connick wasn't able to make that one in, winning his duo.
And that really was a matter of inches there. You can even see the shadow of the ball on the crossbar. There will very unlikely be enough time here.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And that does it. 10 minutes of...
And the future is bright, like you said. Many freshmen in the squad.
They certainly deserve to be here. The question is now, do they deserve to be in the Big South Championship game? We will determine that in perhaps the next 10 minutes. Ball crosses the line, game is over. No winner at the end of this 10, penalty kicks. Still scoreless in the other semifinal between High Point and Asheville. Hooked over by Amal. Young now the highest forward player for Campbell. Campbell's going for it here. Amal. Young. Off the referee. This is one of the newer rules. They implemented it at the European leagues a few seasons ago. It usually takes a year or two for it to filter down. If it does bounce off the referee, they give a drop ball, my favorite play in all of soccer. You guessed it, the referee drops the ball, and we carry on. Momo. Well intercepted by Cincini. Confusion at the back. Baeza forced to clear. Referee says free kick. That was a crucial one there because McCoy didn't quite win that one.
Yeah, the first one that he didn't win, but he got away with the foul.
Mensah. Campbell have livened up here. They've got a lot more players forward. They're holding on to the ball. They're really going for things here in this second period of overtime. Cincini. That's going to be a free kick, the referee says. It had to be a free kick or a handball. Assistant referee on the far side ruling against Momo. One back by Badico. Hines can only send it off of the Ghanaian. Long by Hines. Konix had it watched the whole way. James. Orocha. Back to James. A foul on the edge of the 18. It was just a foot left in on Momo by Montero.
And we see more energy from Campbell. They're stepping up, holding on to the ball.
Monels against Mensah. Chipped in, fired over the second opportunity. That one a little bit harder than the one that Bobai had, but still a solid chance for the Spartans.
It was the best chance of this overtime for now.
Let's take a look at it here. A great crossed ball.
Great footwork, great ball in. But Momo and McCoy were there.
Had Orocha been able to keep that one down, it may very well have been blocked. Keller. Badico. Now Rogers. Momo outside. Too close to Cincini. Momo makes something of it. The Frenchman crossing it in. Baeza with a fantastic save and cleared off the line. A stellar save from the Chilean to keep Upstate in this match.
Well, that was the best chance of this overtime now. What a save. A header from Locke. And just the reaction.
Baeza had milliseconds to react to that one.
It's a game of inches.
Here comes the service. Baeza just over his hands, touched on the way through. Corner kick to Campbell. That looked like it was arrowing into the side netting on the far side.
And Campbell finding the momentum, back again.
They do not want to let this opportunity slip. They may not get another. Matlock puts his boot through this one. Straight up by Young. Goal kick. No, referee. Goal kick. He thought about it. He waved his hand out for a corner. There was some protesting from the Spartan players. Thought about it. Pointed to goal kick. Orocha comes off. Lewis is on. 3.5 to play, and perhaps one last roll of the dice here from either of the coaches. Momo. Campbell took the back seat in that first 10 minutes. They were in the driver's seat for this one. Aline. Over the top. Just ahead of Montero. He manages to make something of it. Off McCoy for a throw. Shorted to James. Last off Locke. We had some corners on one end. We'll have them now on the other. Just about everyone forward for the Spartans. All but Anderson and James. Here it comes in. Straight up by Tyler Young. McHugh. Konix used his body to block that one. Throw in. 2 minutes remain. In by Anderson. Excellent ball. The acrobatic kick. Fired in just wide. Referee says goal kick. These two teams are staring penalty kicks in the face. A little over 90 seconds left to find a winner before we go to the penalty spot. Bobai. Monels pings one out. Lechuga, no problem. It was a tale of two halves. Campbell, confident and commanding in the first. The Spartans, gritty and determined in the second. They've split these two overtime periods, and there's going to have to be a deciding moment in the next 50 seconds. Otherwise, it's going to be penalties. Young against Baeza, offside flag. They stop the clock. What's the strategy here?
Putting the ball as far as you can from your own goal.
McHugh. Bobai. Lewis. Konix. A foul on the edge of the 18-yard box. The question is, will the referee stop the clock and give them one last opportunity? They're trying to get this in as quickly as possible. Will they be able to? The referee blows the clock to a halt with 2.9 seconds.
Wow, this is madness. This is the last shot of your season, possibly.
Here it is, folks. If it's not scored from here, it will be penalty kicks. You can't ask for a better opportunity in overtime to seal a match. Monels and Cincini.
This is extremely difficult for Lechuga to see anything.
So many players in front of him. A five-man wall for Campbell. Will they take it direct? Will they take it short? Will it be a left footer, a right footer? We will find out in the next few seconds. The game at the boot of one of those three players. A free kick to put themselves in the Big South Championship. It's Monels off the wall. Well, folks, it's going to require spot kicks. 1-1 after 110 minutes. It'll go down in the books as a draw, but it will take penalty kicks to decide. Two teams, they all line up here on the midfield stripe. 5 takers from each team will alternate. One for one team, one for the other. They will take them, and then whoever is leading as far as goals scored, penalties scored, after those 5 wins. If we are still tied, say all 5 are scored, then we will go to sudden death. 1 penalty followed by 1 penalty, alternating between the two teams. A coin is flipped, The team decides which end they want to shoot to, and then whether or not they want to go first or second. There's debate about all of that, but really, all that matters are the moments where you walk up to the ball and put it home. It's going to be Corvino, the Italian, against Sam Lechuga, the Mexican, for the first penalty kick of this shootout. Corvino puts it just past the fingertips. That Italian passion they're showing.
When if say 1 coin toss, it's very important to be ahead for PKs because you put even more pressure on the other team.
Frank Momo will be the first taker for Campbell. He wears the armband. He takes the penalty kicks. He's already scored 2 this season. Against Baeza. Momo. No problem. The Frenchman, cool as you like, to tie it up at 1.
Leading by example, he takes responsibilities.
Filippo Cincini, back-to-back Italians for the Spartans. Cincini, the left footer. Past Lechuga again, the identical spot that Corvino put it.
Well, we tend to say that left footers try to kick it on the right side. I know that for a fact.
Konix now, out of Montfort, Netherlands. What can the Dutchman do? His first season with the team. He's been asked to do so much at the back, but there's no greater ask than scoring a penalty in the playoffs. Diego Konix puts it through, just barely slipping on the turf.
Well, the coaching staff is asking for a redo because I think he touched it twice, which is illegal.
And this, I wonder if this is a reviewable play. I do not know how things stand as far as the overtimes go, but it doesn't look like they're going to take a look at it. You're right, you can only touch it once. Here's a look. And it looks like he slipped. It's a matter of whether or not his front foot, left foot hits it first. It doesn't matter. We're tying it 2. Paul Monels. Just past Lechuga again. He's guessed right every time, but it doesn't matter. The precision has been perfect.
What a great shot. Because, as you said, Lechuga was on it.
And that's just about as perfect as you can get. Into the side netting almost. Tyler Young, a breakout season for the red-shirted freshman. On the all-freshman team. He's been a spark for this Campbell side. Can he keep the flame alight here? Young puts it over. The lights starting to dim for Campbell. 3-2 the Spartans lead. Such a difficult moment. Anytime you miss, he had to come off with a strain on one of his legs, and he just puts this one over.
Yeah, the pressure, it was unfortunate for Tyler Young. Maybe he was still feeling his legs.
The Spartans put another step closer to booking their spot in the final. It's Jusberg there. Did not play in regulation, It's his first kick of the match to put his side forward 4-2.
Wow, it takes a lot because he was not ready to play today, able to come in just for this shot and making it in.
Campbell, they gotta get this one. Amal puts it over. The Spartans are through. They've done it. They've gone on the road and knocked out the two-time defending champions. A moment they'll remember forever. 4-2 on penalty kicks.
Well deserved. We cannot say they didn't deserve that one. They made such a great impression all season long.
And here it is. Not necessarily a winning moment, but a losing moment. A difficult one for Sami Sharaf Amal, but to focus on the winners tonight as some words are exchanged between the goalkeepers. Some pushing and some shoving over there as the situation has declined here.
A little bit of frustration.
Yeah, things you never want to see. As something sparked off Sam Lechuga, something was said to him.
Lechuga probably emotional.
And here's our Hercules Tires moment of the game. Who else but Orocha? 11 seconds into the second half. Orocha ties things up, and that was the catalyst for this victory tonight.
It was the most important part of this game because coming off halftime with such a goal like this so quick, it changed everything. And we really felt like Upstate played a better game after that, and they kept it to winning in PKs.
Well, folks, that wraps it up for us here in Buies Creek. It's the end of some incredible careers for those of Sam Lechuga, who couldn't make the difference tonight, but it continues on for the Spartans, who booked their spot in the first ever time for them, the Big South Championship. They'll play the winner of High Point and Asheville. From myself, Zach Burley, Baptiste, and everyone here on the University of Campbell campus, we say thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you back very soon. Make sure to tune in to that championship match Saturday, April 17th.